Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Lines Forever, where today we're going to be looking at a 2v2 played on the map Fields of Isis. It's a classic map, and we have a lot of the factions here today to duke it out on the ever so dusty hills and ravines of Isis. So let's go ahead and get ourselves into the game and introduce our players, but before we do, please consider liking and subscribing. We're very close to getting to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I would really appreciate any support you can give. Moving on to introductions, we're going to start with the White Aeon for Team 1, going first land by the epic name of Epic Cry Inide, which seems like Epic Cry Inside, but he left out the S. He couldn't find the key on the keyboard. It's very difficult sometimes. Meanwhile, his ally with a more well put together name, I guess not. I don't know why I'm shaming people on their names now, but he's an orange UEF going first land by the name of Aldi, and he has gone first land. Then we have ourselves a Red Cybern for Team 2 going first land. He's been in a recent cast and now he is in another. His name is Zelda Fanboy and he is rocking the red. Now, last but not least for the entire game, we have another UEF, meaning the only faction we don't see here today is, of course, the Seraphim. But this player, of course, has been on casts before, and he is a relatively good player. His name is Highlander TX. With the introductions out of the way, we can talk about the map. We have plenty of expansion points here in the middle, 6 mexes per side. It's a 10 by 10 kilometer map, but a lot of the map is taken up, so it's more like 5 by 10. And you have these choke points laden with T3 and T2 wrecks that the players can scoop up. Overall, about 10,000 reclaim, and virtually all of it right here in the center. And we, of course, have our players. We have a rating of 94% quality in this game, and it is going to be a bit of a mismatch in overall skill level. We go from 900 to 1700 in rating, and of course, the team with the 900 player has the 1700 as their ally, and the other side is a bit more, I would say, conservative with the range of rating between the players. It's an 1100 and a 1400 respectively. So, of course, rating not everything, but it is a fun thing to look at while we get into the part of the game that the players start shooting each other with various types of robots. We will also be able to see if these players have any kind of coordinated strategy. Every once in a while, you can see a attempt to overload one of these passes. You can overload the north or the southern passage here in the center of the map by sending 2 comms there, or just sending all of your units there and getting T2 on the comm. There's a few interesting things you can do. It's about as close as you can get to, I guess, a dual gap scenario without the map basically being horrible. So these players are making their way out, going to be trying to get the reclaim. Highlander looking to get there before Aldi, and it looks like Zelda Fanboy is going to have a hell of a time as he's already scooped up a couple of T3 wrecks and is getting the rest of them as we speak. Of course, Epic not quite as quick on the march to the middle, but he is making his way there. He may not get there in time for a ton of reclaim, but he is going to at least contest to this choke point up here. Zelda Fanboy currently leading the pack on reclaim, nearly 2,000 reclaim, everybody else below 400. Aldi and Highlander starting to reclaim now. The comms getting within range of each other. I'm going to start seeing some shots fly between them. We have reclaim going on onto the T3 Rex, and it looks as though overall reclaim is going to be in favor of Team 2 over here on the right. Team 1 not quite going to be able to make up for the differential that's going to come out from Epic Cryonide, not quite being able to get out here fast enough to participate in the T3 Rec reclaim. And we do have a T1 bomber out early. It's managed to pick up a kill. I don't believe the kill was onto an engineer. I think it was onto a scout earlier, but can possibly pose a threat to the likes of Epic and Aldi, of course. Aldi down here with his comm. He's about to be a little bit outnumbered, but he does have reinforcements coming up via the rear. and the comms are going to continue to trade blows with each other. It looks as though Highlander might have just a couple more tanks, but I'm not sure if that's going to be exceptionally relevant. The tanks are now getting shot down by Aldi, and Highlander, of course, also shooting down some of the tanks of Aldi. So these players constantly just trading units now. On the northern side, it's a little bit more tame, but we do have this bomber now up to 3 kills, and is going to manage to drop another bomb over here, going to be killing off multiple tanks and an artillery piece and a scout for its troubles. Now up to 7 kills and 1 veterancy. This bomber doing quite well for itself. We have mobile anti-air trying to chase it down, but not quite making the mark or the achievement that they would like. Now the bomber heading down south to try and help Aldi, help deal with these units out from Aldi. Highlander and Aldi both falling relatively low on health. Of course, Highlander staying a bit healthier at around 8,000 versus around 6,000 health. These two players just going to continue to duke it out for a little while. I'm sure once one of them gets too low, they'll withdraw and try and let their units handle it. But until then, gonna have to keep an eye, make sure nothing cheeky happens and we don't see an early ejection of one of these players. The Zeus trying to pour some damage into that commander, but not quite able to as of the moment get any sustained damage done. Is going to drop onto some bombers now. Onto some tanks and an engineer. Doesn't get a kill. This is the second bomber. In fact, the first bomber somehow was indeed shot down. This one has no veterancy. So the air focus out from Zelda starting to pay a little bit back into him. He's managed to get decent harassment off and is now helping to deal with the armies of his opponent, and also kind of just forcing mobile AA to be built. It's every mobile AA you build is pretty much a tank you didn't build. And tanks are very useful. Highlander now, though, losing a lot of health. It looks as though Aldi probably got some quality time with some units onto the comm of Highlander. Highlander now down to sub 3,000 health. His opponent at 4,700. So we're going to be seeing a bit of a discrepancy in the pressure able to be exerted by the comms on each side. These players still just throwing shots into each other and into each other's armies. The bomber still trying to pick up some kills on itself and deal some damage to the comm of Aldi. Aldi still being aggressive. Both these players kind of playing with fire as they're getting quite low on HP, and that could be dangerous very soon. Epic over here, he's managed to lose a lot of HP, but he's not really hurting too badly. We have a bunch of Aurora now pushing up. The Aurora having a bit of issue with the hill, but so are the Mantis on the other side. And these two groups of units going to be firing into each other. Looks like the Aurora are winning out on the trade. There were more of them to begin with, and they're kind of just been able to sit here and free fire while the Mantis are trying to move and get all of this fancy stuff done. The comm of Epic managing to pick up a kill for itself even. On the bottom side, we have tons of kills going to both these commanders, 20 and 40 kills respectively. Aldi doing a little bit better on the trading of units and has now managed to build himself a bit of an advantage, but there is some entrenchments coming up for Highlander. He's managing to get up a T1 PD with full wall surround. Going to be a difficult thing to deal with until there is some mobile artillery within range of that. Lobo's now coming into the force of Aldi, going to be able to possibly deal with that and get an advantage, but it looks like Aldi's going to fall back for a little while. T2 now on the way for Epic, and as we crest the 9-minute mark, let's go ahead and look at the economies of these players. Zelda Fanboy sitting at 37 mass a second, his ally Highlander at 35, 27 for Epic Cry, and Aldi sitting on 39, overall leaving Team 2 with a slight mass generation advantage, but Highlander in a very dicey situation. It doesn't look like he's going to die to this land push, but it was pretty close. It is going to be very, very difficult for him to keep his calm here and keep on making the decision to fight with it. He kind of just needs to calm down a little bit and stop fighting so much with the calm. He's losing these engagements consistently. We do have T2 now on the field for him now, so Highlander getting himself up to a higher level of tech. So is Zelda Fanboy. On the other side, there is no T2 yet for Aldi. Aldi focusing way more on getting a bunch of units producing. He has a ton of land factories right now. Epic also kind of on the train of more factories, but has decided to finally get to T2. He's building up T2 engineers, probably going to try and rush a power generator if I had a guess. He doesn't have a ton of power. I guess he doesn't necessarily need to rush a T2 power generator unless he's going to go for T2 air as well. But nevertheless, Aldi now over here reclaiming the remnants of the battles he's been waging with Highlander for quite a while, and that's going to bring the reclaim numbers a little bit more up to parity. Epic Cryonide is currently in a battle up here to the north. We have Mantis on Aurora Violence, and it just looks like the Mantis are going to slowly push back the Aurora, but at heavy costs. At what cost? In fact, because there's no more Mantis left, and the Aurora now have free reign to push forward as a bunch of units were sent south now by... Well, never mind. Those units that were sent south came back north. So speed and range on the way for Zelda Fanboy, as he's now at a unit disadvantage. He's trying to transition everything into T2 unit production from the looks of it now. And that may work, but it's going to be a bit difficult to field enough units at the moment. He's in that weird transitionatory period where if you throw away your army, it takes a little while before you have another substantial army on the field. Whereas whenever you're just still focusing on T1 spam, you can get that army rebuilt relatively quickly. We now have a Rhino on the front line starting to kill off Aurora. The Aurora need to fall back and try and abuse their range advantage. They even have a range advantage on the likes of a Rhino, so they can, in fact, abuse that. I think they do. What is the range of an Aurora? Where is your range number? 0 to 26. Now then, we can go ahead and look at Zelda Fanboy. Let's look at the Rhino. The Rhino looking at 0 to 24. So a very slight range advantage for the Aurora, but it still can be abused. More Aurora will be able to fire into the Rhino than the Rhino will be able to fire into Aurora. On the southern side, as I've been looking at all of this, it looks like Highlander is just going to be hard shoved off of this position. He's going to lose some mass extractors. Aldi getting tons of work done with the commander. He doesn't even have an upgrade on the commander, still just using the base one at 2 veterancy, giving him 22 health a second. And he's now got a lot of units down here, but there's going to be a tech disadvantage now, and he's going to need to address it. It doesn't seem as though he has T2 even on the way yet from the looks of it. He's going to get rid of a couple of land factories, which usually is a sign that he's going to try and hard shove into Tech 2 land production. The question is just when can he get an HQ online, because these Rhinos are going to start becoming an issue as more and more of them are built. As long as they aren't dying at the same rate they're being built, there's going to be more Rhinos on the field, and that means that you just kind of have to eventually deal with it. Stealth and speed and range finished for Zelda Fanboy. Sorry, something in my throat. Alright, man, what the hell did I do to my throat? That felt really weird. So, T2 now on the way for Aldi. Aldi at a healthy 9,000, nearly 10,000 health. His opponent on around 8,000, but T2 is done for Highlander, so he's managed to get out an engineer. He doesn't have the T2 upgrade. Oh no, he does have the T2 upgrade. So he's starting to build a fire base right here. He's decided to concede this territory, abdicate his claim on it for now, at least for the moment, as he just builds up a fire base, builds up some defenses, so that way he can have a more safe situation in the back lines, not have to worry about a potential run by. Zelda Fanboy currently abusing the fact that he got those the gun upgrade and the stealth upgrades on the comm. Epic building a fire base in the choke point, so it looks like Team 1 managing to get quite a hold on the map. They are able to just kind of take both central areas and hold on to them. They are denying mass extractors pretty actively, and going to be able to cause a lot of pain and suffering for the likes of Zelda and Highlander as these units continue to just push in for Aldi, trying to get what seems to be they seemingly are running up to Epic Cry inside, but maybe this is just trying to spread out his units to do a frontal assault on the likes of Highlander, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Rhinos firing into strikers. There's a lot of strikers, so these rhinos have their work cut out for them, but they will be able to kill off this army eventually, just because rhinos are exceptionally strong in the sense of having high health and being able to deal a decent amount of damage as well. The rhinos just firing constantly into these strikers, but there just seems to be more and more strikers. Every time they kill one, it seems like another one shows up to replace it. Blaze is now coming onto the field for Epic as he's trying to push this comm of Zelda Fanboy off of this position that he's been trying to use to harass and cause issues for Epic. Epic kind of just chilling back here. Let's go ahead and look at the economies once again. We're at the 15-minute mark now. We have ourselves 61 mass a second for Aldi, which is right up there with the highest. Zelda Fanboy also at 61 mass a second. We have 56 for Highlander. Epic only slightly behind in mass generation at 50 mass a second. Managing to keep up, managing to play quite admirably for being the lowest rated player and being quite a little bit behind his opponents early on, not getting that early reclaim. He's managed to really turn it around. Overall on reclaim numbers, Team 1 heavily ahead in reclaim now, as both Epic and Aldi raising their reclaim numbers quite a bit, while Highlander and Zelda keep on losing battles and therefore giving up territory. And that territory is just going to be used by Aldi and Epic to get more reclaim. The more territory you control, the more area that you can reclaim in. And generally you have to fight to get there, so you just reclaim everything in front of you as you take it. Zelda Fanboy now slowly pushing up to try and attack Epic Cry inside yet again. T1 bombers out from Aldi, going to just kind of die a very sad death. Aldi now pushing forward, having T2 and gun on the comm. Looks like he's going to try and break the position of Highlander. I'm not sure how well this is going to go. Highlander in a tough spot as tons of units now pour in. He has triads set up, just not nearly enough units, as the Shift G order. That's where you can see all of these units kind of running for the exact same point. Running in here, looks like he may target down the shield. That's exactly what he does. And now Aldi's starting to get a lot of damage down onto the triads. There's just not enough static defense here to deal with it, and definitely not enough units. We need to see something come out to kind of help out Team 2 in dealing with this push. Zelda Fanboy now coming down with the comm, trying to attack Aldi. We now have T2 PD being thrown up by Aldi in defense of the comm of Zelda Fanboy coming down. And despite being at a tech disadvantage, we can just see Aldi leveraging his sheer numbers advantage with T1 units to really abuse Highlander and kind of shut down what he was trying to do right here. He, of course, still has T2 on the comm. There are still the wrecked buildings which he can build on top of to get this back up quickly, but it's starting to become an issue. It looks like he had a setup for either a radar, or I think it was a radar. It wasn't a T2 artillery piece that was really helping him out. We now have T3 tech on the battlefield. We have Loyalist now out here trying to fight a war by itself, and it's really just not going his way. A Loyalist goes down. Now a Titan on the field waging war against the UEF opponents. Kind of a civil war. Titan killing off Lobos and Strikers, and the Titan goes down. T1 units really showing their value as more Loyalists and Titans flow onto the field, and still manage to just get shut down by the T1 spam out from their opponents. Epic now also working his way to T3, 97% on the upgrade, now going to be T3 right now. So we may be seeing some Harbingers show up here soon, but the T1 spam out of both Epic and Aldi have been working very well. Now it's starting to get dicey. Aldi has run out of that critical mass of T1 units just to bully away Highlander. He is setting up defenses on the front line, which kind of helps, but Loyalists and Titans are even better than a massive amount of Strikers at killing off point defense. So, you know, it's kind of looking like the tides may turn. Epic gonna start getting pushed back. It's gonna be a slow process, but Loyalists definitely push back this army, and Loyalists can push back that comm. So it's gonna be a bit difficult right now at the moment for this small number of Loyalists. It's gonna require a lot of micro. Also, of course, same goes for the Titan. Titan and Loyalist very even on their power levels. But as these start to become death balls, as more and more T3 units come out onto the field, it's going to become more and more difficult for the lower tech units out from Aldi and Epic to get any leeway and get any progress done. Now the Loyalists going down to Scorcher Bombers, creating a really big very big scorched earth policy coming out from these Scorcher Bombers, which, you know, the name does quite well imply. And T1 Bombers still very good at killing off T3 units. We've seen it in a bunch of recent casts where T1 Bombers are just kind of being used in the later game to kill off any kind of army that approaches that doesn't have flak. But things are calming down a little bit for the first time in a while. We can go ahead and swap that back over. As far as the tech wars go, T3 now on the way for Aldi. We might possibly see some Percivals or bricks starting to be produced. The production facilities for Highlander and Zelda both seem to be kind of stagnated at the moment, as they are focusing more on economic stuff at this given time. And these players continue to do what they have been doing. We have a tactical missile launcher, a Serpentine, now out for Epic, and I believe that does have the range to hit mass extractors. So that's going to be an issue. If Epic can afford that, which he's having a lot of struggles with affording it, he's building a T3 power, which is going to take a little bit, but once that's done, this tactical missile launcher is about to start causing hell for Zelda Fanboy. If he does not get up tactical missile defense in a why did I say exceptionally so much? In a rapid manner. A very, very importantly rapid I'm having so much trouble with words today. Why anything? But the meat and potatoes of the situation is this is the meat and these are the potatoes, and they're fighting each other, and meat beats potatoes because meat is stronger than potatoes, has more structural integrity than potatoes. I'm going fucking mad. I've been staring at screens for way too long. Okay. Come on. Launch it. You know you want to. Launch the missiles. All the missiles. Come on, launch them. Launch them! Do it, damn you! Also, we have a ton of T1 bombers now making their way over the ridge just to get shot down by a SAM. And as is still a very slow and not much happening at the moment. We have almost 3 tactical missiles built up. Looks like he's just trying to give time over to Zelda Fanboy, who's now producing bricks of note. And was... I'm overrated. Bro, stop throwing. But Zelda Fanboy, very chatty. Also seems kind of salty. He just forgot about this tactical missile launcher, and it's costing him 8 mass a second. At least once it's filled with missiles, he doesn't really have to worry about it. I guess maybe there is, maybe there's a strategy, build up to 6 missiles, but you're just giving more time for Zelda to scout this. Zelda sends 1 scout over, and that could be trouble. T3 Air now on the way for Zelda, who is producing bricks and deceivers, and also, of course, Trebuchet mobile artillery. We also have, well, no, these are still bricks. Also a bouncer, which totally should be called a scorpion. I don't know why this is called a bouncer. Should be called a scorpion. There's no unit in the game called a scorpion. Call that the scorpion. From now on, it's the Scorpion. It's not a bouncer. But T3 mobile anti-air, gonna be quite useful. We don't have any tech up for air out of either of our... Well, no, we have tech 2 air. We have Mercies? Is he going for... This is some cheesy shit. Is he going for a Mercy snipe? On who? On Zelda? Zelda seems to be quite content to just not move forward. And I would too. These Mercies are very expensive. The tactical missile launcher is expensive, and he's kind of... Oh, he's finally launching! Everybody, he's launching tactical missiles out of his tactical missile launcher. Oh, here it comes. How long does it take for the reaction and the building of the tactical missile defense? How long does it take? Come on. How long do you take to realize there's a yellow dot where it shouldn't be? Oof. That's one dead mass extractor. Ooh, another one. Oh, now he's realized it, but is it too late? He's gonna lose all of his core mass extractors at this rate. Oh, that tactical missile defense is... yeah, it'll get done. The question is in time, and the answer is probably not. We have Bricks now on the front line over here, and they're running into Aurora, which is not the best situation. Do Bricks just outrange them, or do they have no... No, they have vision of it. He has sensors. Yeah, Bricks just outrange Harbingers. Well, that's unfortunate. And 1, 2, 3, 4 mass extractors going down, bringing Zelda down to a 64 mass generation income, which is pitiful for this stage of the game, where his ally has 154, Epic has 90, Aldi has 150. All of these players now on a stronger economic footing than the likes of Epic, mainly because of the simple fact that he didn't have tactical missile defense. It's something you have to remember every single game that gets to the somewhat later game. You need TMD in your base, especially on a map like this where it can be so easily abused. The Mercies were spotted, which means the Mercies are going to sit here uselessly for the entire game, or they're going to be he's going to try and use them and fail. I thought Mercies landed on the ground. Is this what Mercies do? Do they never land? I thought they could. That just looks weird. We have a bit of a engagement happening between a bunch of Bricks and a bunch of mismatched units out from Epic. Epic not quite getting any return on this. Is a bad engagement. Zelda is starting to be scary. Epic will seriously need to consider running away. Using the Harbinger to reclaim. Oh, look at it. The suck boy. He's such a good boy. Doing the reclaims. Shield now on the way for Highlander. And, of course, Zelda. 4 ranks of vet on the comm. Very important. T3 on the way for Aldi. And that is pretty much it for upgrades. We haven't seen very many upgrades as of late. Shield and T3, though, being started up. We have a bunch of Oblivion point defenses, which are going to attempt to hold out against the Brick onslaught, but they're not enough. The Bricks need an answer right now. We have a ton of Percivals now coming out from Aldi. They will be able to be used to try and deal with the Bricks. We have a Sprite Striker sniper bots coming out. Those are also probably quite effective against the Bricks. And of course, we have ourselves the sensors upgrade, so have a lot of intel. But ooh, that sniper bot doing some risky moves. That Harbinger doing more risky moves and paying the price. The sniper bot just needs to keep firing and not miss like it just did, hopefully. And Epic will be in an okay position. He's going to lose some territory, he's going to lose some mass extractors, but he inflicted a lot of damage and he set back Zelda. Zelda's not going to be able to produce Bricks like this for forever without... He's going to need to pause in a little bit to get his economy back on track, because sitting on T1 mechs is going to be very painful. He still hasn't even rebuilt this one as a T1 mechs. The Bricks starting to make headway into the base of bases, but I think there's enough Percivals and Harbingers are about to be able to show up and deal with this. The bricks got a lot of damage and bought a lot of breathing room for Team 2, and that's exactly what you kind of want whenever you've been a little bit behind all game. Highlander is sitting on quite a high economy. He's managing to get a lot of reclaim, and he's also at 177 mass a second. 202 though for Aldi. Aldi, I think, is full T3 on his Massic. No, he has one T2 Mass Extractor remaining, and then the T2 in the front. But in his main base, pretty much full T3 at this point. And he's going to have to start looking at alternative methods to get higher mass incomes in the near future. One brick remains up here. 3 kills. About to be on 4 kills. 5 kills. Is it going to get to that rank of veterancy? It's looking very likely. 5 kills. 6 kills. 7 kills. Come on. Rank up in veterancy. Do it. Do it. Was that enough? Yes, it ranked up. The brick is 1 vet, giving it 6 health regen a second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but from 0, it's a 600% increase. Actually, it's an infinite percent increase from 0, but yeah, no. We now have Demolisher, T3 mobile artillery, out from Highlander, starting to harass some of the outer structures of Aldi and starting to push him back, abusing this kind of mountain range here in the middle and firing directly over it. You know what? Come on, fire again. Fire! This should be the thumbnail. I want the thumbnail to be Cougars. I love the Cougar as a unit design. I also love its name. The Cougar is such a cool unit. I'd love it if they added the ability for it to fire down as well. Give it shit damage against ground units, but let it fire at ground units. Are you really... Can somebody fly a plane over here? I want to see what's going on. We have Titans in the back line now, which is a real and present issue for Aldi. He's going to start losing these T2 mass extractors, which I'm sure he does not want to do. It's not generally a thing you like to do, is losing those T2 and T3 mass extractors. Those are the ones that you care about. The 9 and 27 mass a second definitely feels important. And the Titan's going to get out after killing those 2 mass extractors, so a decent situation now arising for Team 2. Team 2 starting to get a footing. They were really weak in the early game. T1 and T2 phases did not go well for them, but they're now in the T3 phase, and they're really abusing their knowledge and abusing the fact that they just kind of went for T3 earlier and managed to get a little bit of a death ball going on. But now we have a ton of T3 production now getting set up for Aldi. And Aldi has the economy to afford it. He just needs to hold on against his last wave of bricks. The bricks seemingly going for Epic Cry inside. I'm going to go say inside. Epic Cry inside's calm. Going to be trying to kill off Epic. And also there was a GC started. That's optimistic. Not really attainable goal, to be honest. Come on, Cougars. Damn it. Just not working with me, are you, Cougars? Epic Cry now working his way with his comm, using the shield, trying to use overcharges, but he's starting to lose mass extractors, and now he's really knocked down a peg. Down to 28 mass a second. He just doesn't have the economy anymore, and he's just in a rough spot. The bricks are dead, but they've done so much economic damage to Epic that he's gonna be licking his wounds for quite a while. But the good news is Aldi is kind of like a one-man I'm gonna win this game machine, because he's producing a lot of units. One thing we haven't spoken about is the tech disadvantage in the air. Aldi hasn't even approached, he hasn't even gone near the idea of T3 air. Looks like he's going to start trying to build an air grid relatively soon. He doesn't have a T3 air HQ, so this air grid's going to be interesting. T3 power and T1 air factories. But interesting isn't necessarily bad. You know, you gotta think positively. Like, I'm positive that these cougars are gonna fire any second and I'll get my perfect thumbnail. Come on, just any minute now. Anything happening interesting? No, there's just a brick firing. Come on, fly a scout over. I know you want to do it, Aldi. Just fly a scout over. Ah, he's not gonna do it. Okay, we'll just we'll stop trying with the entire getting the shot of the cougars firing, because that's not gonna happen. A wave of Percivals now making their way to this southern side. And that's an issue. We also have a Novak Center on the way, which is going to finish relatively soon. Once Aldi finishes his T3 upgrade, I'm sure, or not Aldi, Highlander finishes his T3 upgrade, I'm sure he will be throwing quite the focus into that. Wait, was he getting T3? Yeah, he has RAS, T3, what shield? It's a very upgraded comm. T3 has finished, and he can now probably throw a lot more into this Novak Center. So Novaks, it's a satellite. It was really popular for a little bit, and it's kind of fallen out of popularity, and I think it's starting to come back because I'm seeing people try and build it again. So I don't really know what's going on with the Novaks meta, but it does seem to be shifting back to, hey, Novakses are pretty good. You should build them more often. Do we have anything spicy going on in the bases? No spiciness here. Other than the Novaks, no spiciness there. Fat Boy on the way, and wow, that is building fast. Damn, that Fat Boy building fast. That Fat Boy got all the lasers. Oh my word. Oh, that's so many lasers. All of the lasers. And Highlander finishes his Novaks and queues up a Duke. Oh man, it's the Dukes of Hazard. Those engineers gonna need hazard pay, because if they throw everything into that Duke, they're about to be in trouble, because this army is going to be an issue very, very soon. And the Fat Boy will be a bigger issue, because you're gonna need more than 4 T2 artillery to deal with it. This fire base won't hold up against a Fat Boy. You need, what, is it 7 T2 artillery to kill off a Fat Boy, or to win against a Fat Boy? But that's not even necessarily true, because you can get parashields and make the Fat Boy more effective. Spider Monkey. Why did I say Spider Monkey? Monkey Lord. Spider Monkey Lord. Yeah, the Spider Monkey Lord. The Lord of the Spider Monkeys. Now making its way forward as it's completed itself. Let's see. Is there an epic shot to be had of the Fat Boy with the looming death attack on the way? Oh, also, I want to point out, this game is fucking beautiful, by the way. Did you know that? Know that this is a beautiful game? That Monkey Lord is just having a bad day. The Fat Boy firing onto the Monkey Lord. We have some kind of graphical issue going on with that. I've noticed that the graphics don't really like it when you look at them from certain angles or whenever you're too far away. Novax now trying to fire onto the Fat Boy. I don't know if a Novax can kill a Fat Boy. Does the shield recharge in time? Interesting question. The Monkey Lord trying to use the best shield in the game, otherwise known as a fucking wall of terrain. Normal walls, no, not very great at protecting Monkey Lords, but this kind of smexy wall, very good at it. And the shield generator, like 99% done, dies before finishing. And the Fat Boy firing more shots into the Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord gonna have to fall back yet again. GC wasn't quite killed in that attack, so this GC could theoretically still be built. You have some bricks now pushing in towards the back lines behind the push that came out from Aldi. Not quite making the damage done, not quite doing it. Highlander, let's click on your satellite. What's your satellite's? It's 60 damage, but 240 DPS, a reload of 20. I don't know how that works. I don't know how the damage calculation works, but 240 DPS. I don't think it kills the Fat Boy. By itself. Like, I don't think by itself a Novax kills a Fat Boy. Or if it does so incredibly slowly. Will take a long ass time. And the Percivals are marching. Oh my god. So many shields. And so many effects coming from said shields. You can't even see! What is this? Am I in purgatory? Okay, we're gonna look at this from the other side of the fight. Alright, Novax starting to pour damage in, but the shield's seemingly knocked out either by the Novax or by some T2 static artillery. This large push of Percival's now coming down to bear its brunt of damage onto the spider and the fire base. I almost said spider monkey again. The Monkey Lord in the fire base. The Monkey Lord trying to use that giant microwave laser to get possibly a rank of veterancy as the Percivals continue to fire. I'll go ahead and turn the health bars back on for you all because I know how much you love that. But the Percivals, they're kind of difficult to deal with, even with this Monkey Lord here, even trying to abuse the shields, even having that, I'm assuming, Rambo comm in the back, the RAS Rambo comm. Not quite enough, but the Fat Boy has died, and it's just Percivals. And there might be enough Percivals here to kill off that Monkey Lord, which is a win, but it's not a good win because this Monkey Lord will just be reclaimed. There's another army incoming. The fire base is gone. It's just a few bricks and whatever can be built in the meantime for Highlander. Highlander also building an SMD right now, which I don't know if that doesn't seem like it should be priority numero uno. Personally, that feels quite low on my list of priorities. There isn't a nuke built by his opponents, is there? No. He's just being paranoid. This is a bad investment. I can confidently say this is a bad investment. Don't do this. Scout before you're gonna do this. Because if your opponents are fielding this much shit and throwing it at you, and you have air control, there's a good chance they don't go in for a nuke. They aren't going for a nuke. And another Monkey Lord being built. Percival's trying to walk their way in. We have Percival's out defending and Rambo comm defending now for Aldi, or against Aldi, I should say. And Zelda Fanboy has his comm out. The comm, of course, upgraded a full vet comm, 10,000 mass killed, so that will be relatively effective at just cleaning up little bits of things. We'll have to still worry about, of course, a large wave of Percivals firing, but the Percivals have kind of been shut down. There's not nearly enough of them to just outright win the game. We have strat bombers coming up to try and help deal with this. We have T3 air on the way for Aldi, so Aldi gonna get into the T3 air game. T3 air finished up for Epic, but Epic still kind of in a situation where he has a really strong economy now. He's been able to just kind of focus on it. He has the strongest economy in the game, other than Highlander, who has support commanders. But damn, Aldi and Epic doing quite well for themselves. Early on, they were doing very well for T1 and T2. Then T3 got really dicey. They started losing territory, and Epic in particular took a huge hit. And now it looks as though Epic is the strongest economic player at this given moment, and he's going to start getting up a lot of units. He's now going to have a GC out onto the map, which is... It's going to be hard to deal with the GC without building a bunch of Ravagers right now. And why is he so focused on this anti-nuke? What is this nuke that they're thinking is coming? Where is the nuke launcher? Did they spot a nuke launcher? Did they spot a nuke launcher? There's not a nuke launcher. I'm not crazy. Why do you build anti-nuke, and why do you all have so much worry about being nuked? I don't get it. I don't get the existential fear of being nuked when there's no evidence you will be nuked. T3 mass extractors going down to Percival's over here in the south. Highlander losing some economic power off of this. GC beginning its march across the map, has a lot of support now coming out from Aldi, who's starting to throw together armies in very short periods of time. Still using a lot of T1 units, but mainly just Lobos, and he's also mixing in those T2 units, the parashields, those T2 mobile shield generators, and he's constantly fielding a lot of Percivals. This is a lot of Percivals. 40 Percivals right now. Zelda fanboy sitting on 12 bricks, and there's 10 Percivals. He has double the amount of Percivals and bricks that his opponent has by himself. Not to mention the GC his ally has. This is starting to look a bit hopeless for Team 2. They had a lot of momentum, and they were able to swing into the base of Epic and Aldi and kind of knock them down a peg. But I think earlier, whenever they went in and they got all of the bricks in, they went for Epic. I think they should have just redirected those south, because I think they could have done that damage to Aldi instead, and Aldi has really just been a thorn in their side that they haven't been able to handle. Trying to build a megalith is not going to work when there's a GC like literally 5 feet away. This GC is going to be in range before that megalith hits 25% HP. And now the assault begins. This is Helm's Deep for our Team 2. And it's is starting to look like there might be trouble in paradise, because Zelda fanboy's comm is very close to that GC, and Highlander is not very far away even from that. They need to come up with a way to deal with this GC. A Monkey Lord starting to walk its way in, trying to get damage done on the GC, but it's not just the GC. There's a ton of Percivals in this forest. There's Percivals coming up the rear. The GC may even be able to kill the Monkey Lord still. There's broadswords trying to deal with the GC. The GC is going to fall back into the parashields, going to try and buy himself some time, and the Monkey Lord's going to try and pursue. But there's a bunch of Percivals here, and the Percivals can redirect their fire directly into the Monkey Lord. The bricks going to start becoming an issue as their damage continues to pour into everything over here. The GC does manage to survive. If it gets a rank of veterancy, that is all she wrote. And it doesn't seem to get a rank of veterancy. It may still die, But all of these Percivals now going to be able to push in. The bricks slowly getting petered out. The units out from Highlander is all that's really left, and these units are going to start pushing in. Going to be able to deal some damage towards Zelda Fanboy's base and possibly even secure a kill onto him. The GC does go down. There's an air battle ensuing. I don't know what that air battle is particularly about, but we can go back to our normal screen now that the epic cinematic battle is over, and Zelda Fanboy in a difficult situation. He's being chased down by Percivals. Percival's very good at killing comms. The Percivals now making their way inside the shield generator over here. Cerberus being thrown up just as fast as he physically can. That Percival fires at the wrong time and that shield generator just dies. Power generator goes down, ends up killing off a Percival, in fact. But the base of Zelda Fanboy looking to be destroyed because, like, sure, these 5 Percivals seem like a big issue, but then you have to take into account there's 10 more right behind them starting to stream in. Zelda Fanboy might just get killed. He was going to try and build a Megalith and a Scathis, neither of which I think he could afford. And Broadswords now currently trying to help out his ally is Highlander, trying to save him. But is it going to be enough? Zelda Fanboy taking a lot of damage, down to half health. The Percival's firing into the back of this comm as it flees. Either way, he's kind of just out of the game. The Percivals are about to start killing. They're just them walking through is going to kill off his HQ. Going to kill off all of his mass extractors. He's pretty much out of the game. All he really has is a comm. On this other side that we haven't been watching, a second GC was produced. Looks like all of this build power is going into building GCs, and now the GC is pushed through the front lines of Highlander and is now just about to kill off Highlander with that GC. Zelda Fanboy gonna land his comm here, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. And the HQs now are gonna go down, and Highlander is... yeah, this is over. This is GG. The Aeon prove their worth again by just using GCs to win. This GC probably dies, so shouldn't be bragging about them. Damn, that GC is taking a long time to die. That's a lot of broadswords. Death of our very salty boy, Zelda. We can see in the chat how he's very angry with his teammate. And then we have Highlander going down as well. And that's game. Thank you all for watching this cast. Sorry that the commentary was a bit scattered right now. I don't know what it is, but just couldn't seem to focus today, but really felt like I needed to get a cast out for you all. And you all are beautiful. Thank you to my patrons. I don't know. My brain is kind of everywhere right now. I can't remember names. Your name's going to show at the end of this. If you're supporting me, I'm sure that you don't actually care about me saying your name because I say it wrong anyways. So, yeah. You all are rock. Like, subscribe, comment down below what your favorite ice cream flavor is. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!